Hello everybody, this is Frogman. Welcome back to IXION, and welcome back to another accident in the farm, because we're going to be continuously having accidents from here on out. I love that feature. It's such a great way to play a game. In the last episode, we did a little bit of research, we did a little bit of building in this sector, and I've since kind of worked on reorganizing it, and I'm probably going to continue to reorganize it. I had the farm building kind of centered underneath this section right here, and I think our better option is going to be to shove it to both sides of this location. And I think after a little bit of further review, I will eventually move this to where all of these are smashed clear up against this wall, so that we'll have a line of nothing but farms over here. But the plan is eventually going to be, if you don't know, the stockpiles are the exact same size as the farm tiles that you're going to end up with. What we'll end up doing is we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then of course one right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, with the next farm laid up right around in here. And then I'm going to take this road and push it clear up against this wall so that we can kind of have a little bit of access. But that's one of the little quick tricks that I did kind of learn right off, was how to figure out what sizes of your farms are. You can kind of lay things out in a little bit of a kind of a thing like that, so you can kind of figure out where you need to put things. Anyhow, we have done a decent amount. This has run just a very short amount of time, and we're now completely filled up on food in several of the sectors, to the point I think I need to actually go ahead and shut down some of these other sectors. But this is going to provide us, just that one food is going to take us for one farm will take us to probably about 1,500 people without a problem. However, we are going to go ahead and fill out the rest of this sector. Again, I want 4 full sets of these so that we can maintain plenty of food. Once we start seeing a large amount of need for food, especially once these things start to hit all 50 every single time, then we'll have to start really starting to pump the food out. But I've done, again, a little bit of moving things around, a little bit of adjusting a few things, and we have done a little bit of mining, not a whole heck of a lot. Just been kind of shooting buttons around to try to make sure that we have probes around to try to make sure that we have plenty of materials for our miners to keep busy with, so that we're not out of any kind of resources that we need. And I don't know how I missed that one. Go to work, please. Yeah, let's go ahead and kind of take off with where we were before, which was going to be, we need to figure out what we're going to do on Plymouth 37. And of course, we're just going to go ahead and figure out what we want. Generally, the way this is going to be working is the more you spend, the more we spend on the actual research or the planet or whatever. Like, so here it's going to cost us 40 alloy and, well, 4 cycles. Once they get all of the necessary materials, you're going to get more stuff out of it. You're going to get more science out of it. So that's one thing that I have kind of noticed over the time of playing a little bit, at least for a little while here, is that if you take the time, you spend a little bit more resources, regardless of what the resources are, you're going to get more of the goodie back. And what we're after right now is science. What I want to do, hopefully, I don't know if it's going to be possible by the end of today's episode, but I would like to at least unlock this ring as soon as possible. And I think since we have the trash capabilities, or the waste capabilities, we'll go ahead and unlock the mushroom wall, because it converts 6 waste into 9 food, which, you know, you kind of say whatever, it's a kind of a deal. We have to unlock all of those anyway, and this will definitely go into help us creating and making more food for our colonists. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the cell housing. Cell housing is kind of a nasty little thing, but it does work reasonably well as far as trying to house a lot of crew members. However, it uses wall space, but we'll go ahead and set that one up to do the next step. And that should have got us a bunch of, yes, iron and more of the carbon, or whatever that stuff is they're using to make various things. Okay, those 2 will get unlocked, and those will be able to put into place once we get a couple of things. Now, I do have this shut off because we've got way too much food. I mean, we have way too much food to the point that I can start probably shutting some of these down. I do not want to shut any of them down yet, however, until I have enough people to be able to run the next one. And well, we were running a little low on ice, so I kind of shut a few things off. But we've got way too much food right now, and we're gonna have to kind of do a little bit more searching for stuff outside and around us. So let's do another location. There keeps to be something popping up right there as I scan around. Let's check that one. There's quite a few things we're going to have to look at, and we're going to have to move we're going to have to do some serious moving, I believe, with this sector. You're getting all of your steel produced, your alloy produced, good deal. That should be the last little bucket load of that. We do need to desperately get to moving on to another sector. However, we don't have the available colonists or available people to move them. We're getting to the next thing, which means we got our mushroom walls. We have a reasonable amount of spare people in here, but again, this sector, Sector 6, we're going to use it for farming, which means we're going to be building another farm in there fairly soon. This one, we probably could shuffle people once we start moving a few of these other people around, and I probably actually should just go ahead and start moving some of the workers out of this sector into the next so that I can build those farms. Let's see, how many people does this say it needs? It needs, what is it, 4, and I'm going to need a whole lot more power than that, but I think it's 4 times, the number's not exactly 4 per every farm looking at it. So if we go over here and we say we've got 109 people sitting there and 68 total current, if I turn this back on, we'll have 108 over 109. So it did use a good amount of our workers to turn that thing on. I'm going to go ahead and shut that back off, and let's stick once again some people from this sector into the other one. I think we'll probably send about 30. Sector 1 to Sector 6, get that to work so we can start working on the next batch of this. Again, I want to get rid of all of these. We may, like I said, I may go ahead and start just moving. Essentially what I want to do is, if at all possible, I want to build a kind of a space-related sector to where the only thing that it does is manage the EVA locks and the probe launcher, and possibly a couple of these, mainly because we've got some things here that we've got these docking bays that are used basically to take care of our mining ships and our science ships. I want to try to get another one of these up in one of these so we can do that. So I think that's going to be the priority for today, is to try to get enough people up so that we can do this. Now, that is going to be able to maintain this one crop farm. I believe the numbers, I forget. I've read the numbers elsewhere. This one crop farm is going to make almost 100 food in 10 cycles. Or it's basically, for every one of the structures in the building, it's 1 food per cycle, which is amazing. And that's a lot of food to try to take care of just this few amount of people. The next thing, I guess what we'll do for right now is we're going to go ahead and build... and I really should probably put a mushroom wall down in, but we can talk about them very quickly. Mushroom walls are handy because they can be used to take up space on a wall on the back. However, they are 4 wide, which means what you would be doing is you'd be building a kind of a line like we have over here, and using them to take care of some of the fun stuff. As we start to progress through some of the more technologically advanced stuff, and we get a lot of trash laying around, or I should say waste laying around, they're an excellent way to make a lot of food. These farms make a lot of waste, so you can make a lot of food out of a lot of things. I am going to, I did the measurement and the math. I want to say that we're going to ignore a road over here for now, so we'll stick one of these here like that, and I'll turn this on, and we're gonna kind of build it like this, only a little flip over different, and then I'm gonna leave that space back there for now. I have an idea for what I want to do with that space. If nothing else, what we will do is I'll just shove everything towards the wall as we get a little bit of time, and we'll see what happens. I think you can get shut off for now. Contact has done. And what did we get from contact? 60 science. Our team was able to survey one of the many crystalline cavities beneath Plymouth's surface. Inside these gigantic geodes, huge crystals that are bathed in toxic and corrosive gases. Despite the hazardous environment, conditions, and disorientation caused by the cavity's kaleidoscopic nature, no incidences occurred. The team was able to draw new conclusions about subterranean nuclear activity and its impact on the formation of crystalline structures. I don't care. We're there for the science. Thank you, guys. And I guess we're done, so they can... as we prepared for takeoff, we spotted a geological formation that appears to house some sort of cave dwelling. We're requesting permission to investigate the surface. Can I just wait till you get me all of that 60 science so that we can do this? I'm hoping that in the next couple of little steps here, we'll be able to get all of the science needed to unlock the 4th ring for our science, I believe. And I think while we're at it, since we have plenty of things, Sector 6 is not happy because I have a bunch of homeless people. You know what? That might be the next thing we'll do. Once this is over with, we can get 10% more, 30% more. We may just go ahead and do that instead of build another. Well, I mean, we're going to need a whole bunch of people anyway, but I think we'll probably be working on that fairly soon. You know, again, want to keep them happy, don't want them mad at you. You got that built? Now, how many people do we have right now? We have... Let's just kind of play with this then. Nope. You, here, give me farm.
No more resources available.
1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to give us a little gap right here, which will allow us to access some of that back area. As soon as they get that filled up, we'll be ready to go. No more resources. Do we have a lot of iron still kicking around? No, we don't. Do a little bit more probe scanning. There's a good one. Everything seems to be okay for the most part here. We should still be collecting ice, which is good. And that's what I mean is like what I want to do is I want to move a few things around. We're moving all of that ice all the way across the entire area. And essentially what I want to do is I want to replace this with one of these so I can put a couple of cargo ships in here to do nothing but haul, well, ice for us over here. And if we end up getting lucky enough to get that to work, it'd be great. So essentially what I want to do is I want to get rid of all of these insect farms. And once we get all of these 3 or 4 built here, we should be good enough. And then I can stick some more people over here as well. Oh, I need to build them that thing, don't I? We'll get that done here in a little bit. Does that fit in the line of things? Let's do this. You. Popularity, stability, one of those things. Does that fit? Right? Yeah, it does. Good. Well, when we get a few more things done, we'll do that. So those should be all 4 ready to go. We're going to be getting a little bit close on power. So again, let's go outside. And this is what I'm saying. You're going to spend a couple of solar panel sets on the actual farms that you're going to be doing. Pretty much every one of these farms that we build is going to require another solar panel set to be built to keep up with it for now. But what we can do, I think, right now is we're going to go ahead and start cleaning up this sector right here and get rid of those insect farms.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
That's because that's what happens in the Tiqqun. It's no big deal. We'll be fine. I'm going to also delete that road right there. So once they get these kind of peeled out, that'll happen kind of slowly over time because we have so much steel sitting around right now. Why is that there? Oh, yeah, it's because I had an extra one. Yeah, we'll just kind of let these go. And I suppose what I could do is let's check on our resource management, alloys, and we can... Let me see. Sector 1, how much alloy do you have set to that point? 100 and this. You do me a huge favor, Sector 6, and absorb. I know. Let's say 100 of that real quick. And that'll work for there. Go. And that should allow this to move over here so that we can remove some of these. And essentially what we'll do is we'll just take the material that's out of those, push them over here so that we can build more of these. And I guess while we're at it, go ahead and plunk down the last 5 of those for right now. And I'm going to move that up so that I can get to that back wall. Now, we should have gotten the cell housing done. Cell housing is ready to go. Cool. Let's kick off the fire station, and we'll kick off legislation. Fire station is going to be something we're going to need eventually. The game starts to get silly and starts starting fires all over your thing. Legislative Strengthening Center is an interesting thing. It's basically, you know, force people at police station kind of a deal that allows you to try to maintain order should your people start to become a little bit of a pain in the butt. If you're careful, you won't have to use it. All right, those should have all got built, or they are getting built. Very good. Now, the cell housing is something that you probably try to want to avoid for a while, but if you notice something that's right here about how we've managed to do a little bit of things here, these currently will hold 125 people, I believe, at this point, and they only take up 2 tiles plus the 3rd for the road, which means what we can do, and I probably should just go ahead and do, is move this down. And if I have to, what we can do with this sector is we can store all of our useless non-working people in here using the cell housing. However, cell housing is not very good on people's mentality. They don't like it. They don't want to use it. They think they're terrible. It's like living in apartments, even though they're not even really apartments. It's kind of hard to tell. They have little pods, and they live in little bitty pods, and the pods can just shift up and down as the as the need arises to move people around. All right, so we should have plenty of food now. I'm going to go ahead and blow that one out. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then we're going to start moving certain things in this sector around, which should allow us to build an EVA airlock, which that means I've got to move some of these, which is fine. That's actually kind of no problem there. We'll move those up 1 row and start moving some of this stuff around. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to make this sector a space plus science sector for a while so that we can take care of some of our other little small problems that we're going to need to deal with. Let's see here. Pause, or at least slow it down a little bit. Maintenance, you, and we'll shuffle this over to there. No, don't do that. You need them to build it for right now. Actually, no, they got them both set up. Good deal. So let me do this for a minute. I'm going to do a little bit of moving things around, and then hopefully we should be able to get this going. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. I missed a little pop, but we just went over, what is that, 4 years now, 3 years now, as far as how long we've been on the actual thing. And I've done a little bit of work in here. All of the insect farms are removed, and we now have the 3... that's great. Good deal. We got that done finally. That means they finished doing our little last little bit of work. So we now have 3. Let's go ahead and kick it down here. We now have 3 EVA airlocks in 1 sector, along with the original docking bay that we moved, plus 1 of these probe launchers. And what that does is that having that many things for space puts this into space tier 1, which means we're now going to get a few things for that. So it means the bays are going to unload things.
A sector is being overworked.
How is the sector being overworked? Sector 6, what's wrong with you? Oh, probably because we don't have enough people. Why is Sector 6 so unhappy? Anyhow, we'll just pause and we'll look at this. That's going to get us the benefit of being able to do a little bit of, you know, more interesting things. The more space-related things we put into this sector, the better off it's going to go as far as being able to get us some more fun stuff. Doing the EVA airlocks in here, the 2nd or the 3rd, now that we have 3 in here, I was able to remove an EVA airlock, and I have now got a couple of more things going on. So that means we've got a new docking bay in our industrial sector. that will be able to support, again, another couple of transport ships and another mining ship, so we should be able to mine and do all of those things a little bit quicker. And as things kind of progress, we'll be able to move a few more things around in here. And I think I probably I've been mining and kind of letting things go as we need to go. Why are we being overworked in here? What is your problem? Wow. Off. Is that going to make you feel better? Right. I don't know why that went. Oh, it's because I went ahead and did this. So we also now have another docking bay in this sector that is going to allow us to run some more ships. So we now have 2 more science ships available to us and another cargo ship. This cargo ship's job is going to be to haul all of the ice and whatnot out that we continuously harvest into this sector for right now. I've also got plenty of more storage space in here should we decide we need to build some more things. And it looks like now I need to shuffle about how many people out of this sector into that sector. So yeah, let's send like 40 people. I thought I already did this, but maybe I didn't. Sector 1 to Sector 6, so that we can turn that farm on, so that we can start living. As soon as they get that over with. See, that's the thing I'd like to see is an alarm kind of like that when something happens. And that's because all of those came online. So I did move all of these down one. I was going to say we were going to shove them against the wall, but again, we kind of got a couple of things that are usable. We won't be able to use the mine or the mushroom farms back here, but we can use the cell housing all the way across except for right underneath there, which means I may do a little bit of wonkiness when it comes to a couple of things. And I am going to need another one of those probably fairly soon. We'll kind of just keep an eye on it. We don't have a massive amount of people in this sector, and I think that's the only thing that has the most users. So we should be okay. And I did a little rearranging in this corner so that everything kind of just fits, and hopefully we'll be good to go. So he'll dump off his ice and go get some more. And as soon as we hear this, we move people. Did they do it? I don't think it did it. I must not have pushed the button. No, I didn't push the button. Wonderful. Push the button this time. Go. Thank you. I'd like to be making as much food as possible. Now, those 2 farms, those will last us a long time. And this sector, we can kind of use it for filler as far as other things for a while, but those 2 farms will last us for a really, really, really long time. And as you notice, getting rid of all of those, all of the cricket farms or the insect farms in here drastically reduce the amount of power usage that we had. Plus, I've also got a bunch of things off that we don't really need to be off. But as soon as I turn that one back on, this is going to cost us that much, and well, it's going to be producing a lot of food now. All right, so our current issue is we are homeless once again. We need to do a little bit more building as far as people. I don't want that page. I want this page. Now, I want to try to use this housing as long as possible, even for the fact that we've got a bunch of people that are not, technically working for us. Their happiness, their stability, partly is coming from the fact that we have people living mostly in optimized quarter. And when we start giving people the need for cell housing, it's not a great thing. People don't like it. I know I said that already once, but we won't be making them very happy. Now, there's going to be some more jigsawing happening in this sector eventually. I'm probably going to try to start figuring out where we're going to be putting a few things. But I think the next thing that I want to work on, since we already have it unlocked, is we're going to try to squeeze in a colonization training center down here somewhere. So we'll put that in right there. And we need to start training colonists for this thing.
Accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Let me see. I don't need you, and I think we're good to go here for a while. Let me do this. The biggest problem that I have with this, the way that this system works, is I can't easily just shuffle 1 or 2 things from one to another sector. So here what I'm going to have to do is I want to move a bunch of electronics now from sectors around to sector 1 so that we can do a few things. So I need to be able to bring at least a minimum of, we'll just say a minimum of 5 in there, and sector 2, that's fine, that's great, just go. So that should move these over to here and allow us to finish building that. It's going to take an awful lot of alloy, but that's fine. We'll be okay. We'll just let it kind of do what it needs to do. And I need to go back out here because we should have this finished finally. Yes, we do. Let's see what we've got. They want to go look at something. Now that we've got all the science that comes from it, we'll just take another 2 cycles and let them go look for whatever it is that they're going to look for. And in that last little bit, last scan over here, we got another planet to check out. Looks pretty cool. All right, we definitely need to be mining. We are not mining. There's a bunch of this. I don't really want a lot of that. The beauty of this sector is there's our sector, the system, is there appears to be quite a bit of the carbon to make an awful lot of polymer, which means we could probably get most of our solar system up and our solar panels up and running. Anyhow, we're making trash. I probably should just go back to mining silicon for right now, or silicon, but once we get a little bit more of these other things going, and well, these farms are going to produce a reasonable amount of trash, plus once some of this other stuff's going, there's going to be some more things we're going to be playing with, I think, to just try to get a few things going. But that's beautiful. We do have other science ships now. What am I doing? Contact, you can do this. Lavoisier, you can go over to Fargo, and Faraday, you can go over to there. Get to work on doing some of this stuff in a little bit faster amount of time. Oop, nope. I'm not done yet out here. I want to do another probe.
Has completed a task.
We're still looking for a lot of alloy. Are we got anything out here? And did we get all of this? There appears to be another thing over here we can scan. I'm interested in mining. Ooh, wow. Yeah, we'll do that one and go. All right, what have we got out here? Did you guys get done? Approaching the supposed location of troglodyte dwellings, they were revealed to be nothing more than an optical illusion. This fact was caused by light filtering through the thick fog of Plymouth 37's atmosphere. You can leave the planet now, guys. And since I already managed to tell a couple of other science ships to go places, you can just kind of sit right there until we are able to do a couple of other things. So we've got some more science going that direction. We've got some more people going that direction. We have a reasonable amount of easy to deal with food right now. This, trust me, will keep us well stocked with food for a while. We have plenty of availability for other things, and we're managing to keep our hull from falling apart using a space-related sector inside of our space station, the Tiqqun. I think for right now, I'm going to call it. We're going to do a bunch of more work in the next episode. Possibly, hopefully, we'll do a little bit more locating of, you know, what's going on as far as trying to find the rest or some of these traces of the Protagoras. And we're going to start training colonists next time using this thing. So until then, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.